Hello everyone, welcome back to another Canadian special episode. Canada's Day, we are still recording, still grinding for our folks all over the world.
Happy Canada Day, guys.
Happy Canada's Day, we actually don't really care. I'm just celebrating because I don't have to work, even though I had to work a few hours this morning. Yeah, to no work.
Yeah.
Alright, so today's episode we're going to talk about Game 6 of the Phoenix Suns versus the LA Clippers, because in our opinion, if you watched our last episode, watch it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and our last video was on YouTube as well, so go support your boys. Yeah, we are going to talk about Game 6 where the Phoenix Suns finally closed out the series and are heading back to the promised land, to the NBA Finals since 28 years ago.
28 years, really?
28 years ago, since 1993, Sir Charles Barkley, yes, the Sir Charles Barkley, the TNT analyst, used to be a NBA basketball player. Yes, he used to be this is why he's a Hall of Famer. In fact, he won a regular season MVP over Michael Jordan that year, where Michael Jordan destroyed them and finished the first three-peat.
Dang, I thought he was only a big LeBron James fan, because every time I see him analyzing, whenever there's a LeBron game, he's like, yeah man, LeBron, he's my boy, you know? Like, LeBron all the way. So I thought he was just a LeBron James cheerleader, you know? That's crazy, the fact that he was a former MVP, regular season, despite being only a regular season MVP, but that's all good. You know, it's the 90s, we chilling, you know, the vibe, you know? We all know that it was the Michael Jordan era, you know? Like, Michael, you can't deny that. So let's get back to the Game 6, of the Phoenix Suns versus LA Clippers in the Clippers home court. What did you see?
So I think I will talk a bit more about the Clippers, and you will talk a bit more about the Suns. But essentially, the first thing that came to my mind is, wow, Pat Beverley's offense went off the charts. He's improved a lot, but tremendously, especially the last 3 years. Before, he was known as a defender and still is, and then he got the ability to shoot the open three. And then he got the ability to drive in and pull an open J. But wow, some of the moves he made on Chris Paul, the driving ins, attacking the basket, was amazing to watch. I love watching a basketball player improve like that.
Yeah, totally. Let's give back a little back of a side story. Back when I saw Pat Bevs, he was in the Houston Rockets, where he started to make a name for himself, starting besides James Harden before CP3 came. What I saw was he was like a hound dog. He just kept hounding the opposing defenders, injuring the greatest players, like Westbrook, where he had that big beef with Westbrook. But what I saw was his handles were pretty bad. Wasn't really fluent in terms of the NBA guard skills, because his handles were pretty rigid. It wasn't smooth. As you said, in the Game 6 of the LA Clippers versus Phoenix Suns, he actually started to look like a cheaper version of Chris Paul. Like some of his handles, his crossovers, his slashing in, like, I was like, dude, is that...
Contested layups.
I was like, am I seeing a rip-off of CP3?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He blew by Chris Paul.
Yeah.
So, another thing I saw was that if you watch the games, the Clippers had success in Game 5 playing the zone. And they brought that back again, except this time the Suns were ready. The Suns had a lot of actions, distractions, back picks, cutters, and they were making a lot of three-pointers that really, really damaged the zone. To nullify the zone, all you need to do is shoot the long ball and make the long ball, and the zone becomes ineffective. Cut to the basket, that makes the zone ineffective. So learn, boys and girls. And with that, the Clippers then had to go man-to-man.
Yeah, as Nelson stated, the Phoenix Suns were already expecting Ty Lue and the Clippers to run 2-3 zone. So what they did was, first they had Jay Crowder create mismatches on the right side. So that way, on the first one of the first plays was Mikal Bridges was on the left wing. He saw the mismatch that Jay Crowder set. So what he did was, he quickly slashed, and then CP3 saw it. So CP3 gave him a quick lob, and then under the hoop, DeAndre Ayton was ready to get the offensive rebound too, but he also set a screen on the opposing guy, so he couldn't really move much. And so Mikal Bridges got a quick lob as one of the first plays. And then whenever they couldn't get the misdirection set by Jay Crowder, what they did was the Phoenix Suns ensured that Chris Paul always had the middle from the elbows to the right side from the left side, that they gave space to Chris Paul, so Chris Paul can do his little snake dribble, hit it through the elbow, or when he's not able, so when the opposing defenders collapse on Chris Paul, then it leaves the right side corner open for Jay Crowder. I saw several plays where Jay Crowder hit a few corner threes in the first start. A little fun fact for stats: the Suns were torching the Clippers 5 of 7 from the 3-point line in the first quarter. That led to the downfall of the 2-3 zone. So what Ty Lue did was, he had to go back to the man-to-man defense, which wasn't really working as well because it didn't seem to be helpful, as DeAndre Ayton this game seems way more aggressive, as people were complaining on Reddit, other fellow YouTubers, podcast people were saying DeAndre Ayton wasn't getting enough touches.
I would argue DeAndre Ayton could have got even more touches in Game 6 as well.
That's true. His stats were 8 of 10 field goals made and attempted. He scored a mediocre 16 points, 17 rebounds. That's not bad, but as Nelson said, I believe that he could at least get 5 to 10 more touches, so at least he'll get at least 15 to 20 attempts per game, you know? I think that would be more assertive into dominance for the Phoenix Suns. And the game, don't get me wrong, LA Clippers still did their part by giving Marcus Morris a bit more. What I saw was LA Clippers in this game played a bit more ISO. They gave Marcus Morris more towards the baseline elbow J's for him to work his shot, or the free throw line area where he was able to make a few jab step, fadeaway, tough contested J's. So I think that was very huge to keep LA close into the game. But then a little fun fact: Chris Paul actually turned up his game in the second half. He scored 31 points out of his 41 total points in the second half. For a 36-year-old, he was saying, you just gotta close this out. Make sure he finally hits up to the NBA Finals in his 16 years at age 36. His first Finals appearance. All I gotta say is, Chris Paul, it took you long, but you did it the right way. You never slacked off. You won it the right way. I'm very proud of you. And back to the game, back to the dissection of the game. What I saw was, when LA was really aware of the high pick and rolls when set by CP3 and DeAndre Ayton, what Clippers did, they didn't really adjust. And then whenever Chris Paul had a lot of mismatches, he scored a lot of wide open threes in the third quarter, which led to the lead to increase to 15, because at one point LA Clippers were only down by 7. So there was several huge plays that CP3 did, whether it was making the open threes or to little sneak dribble, hit to the core, hit to the elbows, get to his patent spots. LA Clippers had no chance. What did you see from the Clippers side?
What else I saw from Clippers side, it was nice watching Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, play a bit more healthier. He looks a bit more athletic again, he's playing less gingerly. He's made some shots. His trash talking is back, unfortunately I'm not a big fan of, but I am glad to see him getting his feet back and being more healthy. And he made one really nice pass from NBA highlights, something that only a more high IQ on the floor big man would be able to pass with. So that was nice to see. Marcus Morris Sr. was playing very well. But other than that, it was almost utterly a Suns domination. The Suns and Clippers both have a lot of talent, but Clippers really sorely missed Kawhi Leonard. And with the Suns having Mikal Bridges, having DeAndre Ayton, having VP3, having Devin Booker,
Jay Crowder
hitting all those 3-pointers, I feel like I'm missing some Mikal Bridges. There are so many players that are deadly, scoring at such a high efficiency, scoring double digits, playing together, passing well. And Monty Williams, I've never known him as a good coach, but seeing the adjustments he has made me realize this guy might be something. He might be actually an underrated coach. And so our prediction, or at least my prediction, would be I hope to see the Suns win. I see the Suns winning 5 games against the Milwaukee Bucks, and hopefully Giannis comes back healthy.
Yeah, I totally see the Suns as a favorite because I don't see any team being more stacked compared to the Phoenix Suns. And throughout the whole playoffs, the Phoenix Suns opponents were really difficult. First round, it was against the Lakers. Second round, it was against the Denver Nuggets, who was supposed to be favorites, another favorite too. So, and not to mention the Western Conference Finals against the Clippers, even with a Kawhi and Zubac, you know. So that comes to show you that not doubting the East powerhouse powers, but I don't see them being as dominant as those teams that I just mentioned that the Suns played. So this is the end of the episode. We'll see you guys next time.
Watch us on YouTube. One last thing, maskless Devin Booker is dominating. Keep it up.
Please like, share it with friends, and subscribe.
Nice.